So when the police got there, all of a sudden Austin got completely calm. He went from pulling out knives to being completely calm. I went out there first, and the police was like, we want to know why we have to be out here tonight. And they were supposedly they were behaving as if they were upset about having to come out again. And Austin came out after me, and he was like, whatever she told you guys, like his whole demeanor changed from pulling out knives to being completely calm. And he does this, like he'll be acting the fool and then turn around and behave like he wasn't doing anything. And it can be very believable as well. So he was like, whatever she told you guys, she's lying. And I hadn't told the police anything yet. So after he called me a liar and I hadn't even said anything, I had pulled out my cell phone and I press play on the recording, and I let the officer hear what took place. And after that, he said that's rape, and he charged him with Class C rape. I didn't call the police. I didn't tell the police he tried to rape me, but this is what actually took place. And the reason why I did not want to have sex with Austin, it was very deep-seated. It was a lot of abuse going on. It was very stressful for my body to be the one having to worry about paying the bills and then being abused and going to work and dealing with that, and then having a man that's abusing me as well. And then I'm coming home to, people threatening to put us out. And it was just real stressful, and I was tired. I was just tired. So I wanted to go to sleep. And I just let them hear what happened, because this wasn't the first time that he was lying about what happened. He was also lying. Anytime he'll go to jail, he'll go to people and be like, oh yeah, Andrea got me arrested for nothing. And I wasn't even the one who called the police on him. Other people did. And so I was upset. Like, how you gonna sit here lying to these people, making these people think I'm having you arrested for no reason, and it's other people witnessing what you're doing, and they're calling to have you arrested. And then you're saying that I'm lying on you. I ain't even make the call. I didn't start calling the police until I got pregnant. Until I was in my third trimester, and I realized I couldn't allow him to continue to abuse me while I was in my third trimester. So this is when I got the courage to start calling the police. But originally, it was other people who were calling the police. And he was over here lying to people in the neighborhood, saying that I was having him arrested and that he was not abusing me. And he was. And so I really didn't like that. I'm like, if you're going to really apologize for what you did, and you having me taking you back, apologizing and saying you're going to change, then how you going to sit there and lie to everybody? You know what I'm saying? And then make it seem like I'm lying on you. And that just showed me he was not genuine about being sorry for abusing me. Because if he was genuine, then he would tell the truth that he was abusing me and that he was sorry. But he wouldn't tell the truth. He turned the whole neighborhood against me. And everybody was sitting over there thinking, oh, this older black woman is over here getting this young man arrested. You know what I'm saying? For nothing. And he's not even hitting her from what he claimed, but he was. So back to what was going on in the jail. So when they had me in the back cell and I was screaming because I was screaming before they put me back there. I was on my knees. Lord Jesus, help me tell this, because it's a lot. I was on my knees screaming, y'all took my baby. Y'all took my baby from me. And then she was like, go to your cell. And I was like, you talking to me like a dog. She was like, I didn't do it. I didn't take your baby. I didn't do it. And then so I hurried up and went to my cell, and I got on my knees and I started screaming. And Sergeant Vales and this skinny blonde lady who worked there, a correctional guard, and another one, all three of them came. And then it was like they came in there, and I was on my knees, and I was like, don't hit me, because several guards and females was trying to attack me when they first brought me in. I was screaming and crying, but then I was calm at this point. And then Officer C. Adams, the one who tried to make me get in the back of her police car that day, she was saying she was lying to the people at booking. And Officer D. Strider had brought me to the police department, and they had me cuffed to the bench, and I said, what am I being charged with on the day of the shooting? And he said, well, nothing, because the witness report is adding up with what you said happened. But then when the detective came, he interviewed me with D. Strider and C. Adams, and they was interrogating me and intimidating me at the same time. The detective was asking some flaky questions, but they do that. And then Officer C. Adams and D. Strider was over there trying to make it seem like I didn't have the right to own a gun. She was like, well, what are you doing even having a gun? You know, and I basically let her know I owned that gun. I bought that gun. And I let them know that I had no intentions of shooting him when I got the gun. But, you know what I'm saying, I was defending myself and my child, and I told them what happened. And then they went and called somebody and said that the district attorney or somebody wanted to try me in front of a grand jury. And they charged me with child endangerment. They charged me with dispersing a weapon in a public place. They charged me with assault with a deadly weapon. And then they charged me with child negligence. So the detective, Jim McDougal, had reenacted what happened. I shot Austin in the leg. I put my hand right here during the struggle because there was a man involved trying to get him to stop attacking the baby too. And this was after he was attacking me. And then I grabbed my baby. He was attacking. I grabbed my baby. And then I had told the witness I shot the gun in the air. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. And it was a whole struggle. And pow, I shot the gun in the air. And then I grabbed my baby, but I had shot him. So I shot the gun in the air first. And then we were still going around in the struggle. And I had the gun. And I was still trying to get the baby. And he was still acting violent with the baby. And the man was still trying to restrain him. And I put the gun to his leg like that. And then I had my arm around my son, and I just pow, and I grabbed my son, and then Austin fell into the man's arms because the man was behind him trying to restrain him while he was acting violent and doing all of that with the baby. And then I had the baby, and I had put the gun down, and the man drug Austin out of the store and left him in front of the front door. And then I checked my son to make sure he was okay. And my baby was all right. And then I put him down, and I got my camera phone, and I was trying to send a video to my family like, I just shot Austin. Like, he was attacking the baby. My baby, he was attacking us. And I wanted them to try to help us as quickly as possible. And I had been calling the police, and people had called the police. I came into the restaurant with my son, asking the man to call 911 because Austin was attacking us outside. And the man was calling 911, and Austin came in looking for us, and then he left out. And I was hiding behind the man with my son in my arms, and the purse was right here, and the gun was in my purse because I had to struggle with Austin to get out of the house. But I had to put the gun in my purse, and I had struggled and got me and the baby out the house, but he was attacking us in the street. And he ran because a white woman said she was going to call the police on him. So he ran. And then he started coming back, and I went into the restaurant and asked the man to call 911. And then he came in there looking for us, and I was hiding behind the man. And then he came back he left out the restaurant and came right back. And then he looked around the back because I was hiding in the back. I went past the white people that was in the front, and it was a little corner at the time where they couldn't even see what was going on in the back. And I didn't want to involve the old people because he will attack old people. He's attacked his mother and his father, and they're elderly. So I didn't want to involve the elderly people, so I went to the back, and the man looked like he worked there, and I asked him to call 911, and I was back there holding the baby, and Austin came charging at me to attack me, and I put the baby down this time because I couldn't put him down in the middle of the street while he was attacking me. So I put him down in the restaurant, and Austin ran up and started attacking me, and there was little butter knives and stuff all over the place, and I was scared, and he was attacking me and knocking me all down into the booth, and the man got up behind him. That's when the man got up behind him and was like, trying to calm him down from attacking me. And then he kind of got him back a little bit, but then he went for the baby, and he started attacking the baby. And that's how the shooting happened. And so I had they had told me, the man was like, oh, the police want you to come out with the gun. But I put the gun in my purse, and then I came out with my hands up, and my baby was walking right next to me, and he put his hands up too. And me and my baby started walking towards the door with our hands up, and Austin was right there in front of the door. And I stepped over Austin, and then I went and got on. They told me to get on my knees, and I had to put my hands behind my head, and the purse was on my arm, and the gun was in my purse, and my baby was still right there by the door because he didn't step over his daddy like I did. And the police went and picked up my baby, and they was holding my baby. And then I was crying to the sergeant when they was putting me in a police car. So Officer C. Adams, I told her, I was like, the gun is in my purse. When she came to when they came to put the handcuffs on me, I was like, the gun is in my purse. And she grabbed my purse and emptied my purse out on the hood. And then they was taking me and putting me in the back of the squad car, and I told the chief sergeant stuff that was out there, because they had their guns pointed at me when I came out with my hands up. They all had their guns pointed at me. And so I was telling this, the officer, he was like a chief of white man. I was like, I wouldn't have shot him if I didn't have to. I wouldn't have shot him if I didn't have to. You know, I was like, oh my God, you know, oh my God. I wouldn't have shot him if I didn't have to. And then so they was laughing. They was all out there laughing. And then they put Austin in the ambulance. They called Cynthia, took Cynthia O'Vera, Austin's mother, to come pick my son up. And she came and got my son. And then they had me in the back of the squad car. They took pictures of me and all of that stuff. They was like, take pictures of the side of my side and then this side and everything. And I pretty much just had, you know, like bleeding here, like, you know, and stuff like that. And then so they, after that, no, the most of the bleeding pictures I took when on my own from previous times that he attacked me when he got out of prison. So I'm not exactly sure how many pictures they actually had of my nail beds was split all the way down to here, and my nails was hanging off. And pictures that was in my phone that I told my lawyer about, and they took my phone. I ain't never seen it since. So, but all of this was happening, and they took me to the department. I was like asking Officer Detroit. I was like, what are y'all arresting me for? So this was a mulatto. He looked like mixed race, very pretty eyes officer in the front seat. And then there was a white woman, Officer C. Adams, that tried to arrest me years before I had my child, when I first got pregnant with my child, because my baby was 22 months. He was walking, he was talking, he was a big boy, you know, and he was about to be 2 years old in 2 months. And Austin had just got out over those past 2 months, and he had abused me and my son the entire time since he had been released from prison. And he had promised that he would never do that to us again, because when my son was born, he was not breathing. He almost died when he was born. So I took my son to see him a few times when he was in prison, and Austin was writing letters and telling us that he would never abuse me again. And so I let him come back in the house. But anyway, so they brought me up to the department, and before they did, I was like, get the witness statements of the witness, the man that helped us, because there was a little girl back there. When I went and asked him to call 911, she was like a teenager. But when Austin came in and started attacking me, she was in the booth right there, and she ran. So she was not back there when the shooting happened. But when my lawyer Ingrid Chandler came in after my investigator Jim McDougal, who worked for the sheriff's department for 20 years, he went to go interview the witness, because supposedly he could not access the witness statements. They had sealed them to where he couldn't access them. So he went and actually interviewed this man. And he was like, you got a really good witness. Like, the man basically said everything that I said happened. You know, he told the truth about what happened. And he was scared. He seemed like he was kind of scared and shaken up. And they started drugging me after that with something that was making me delirious in the jail, in my food or my drinks, one or the other. And so they stripped me down to all my clothes. They started filming me. And I was they strapped me down to a chair and was filming me, and I was screaming, y'all doing this to me because I'm black, and because, you know, I shot a white man that was abusing me, raping me as my child father. You know, I was telling the truth and screaming to everybody over the jail what they was doing. And so there was black women right there helping them do it, you know, and I didn't know just how satanic and evil it was what they were trying to do, because I didn't really know how evil these people really were. And so but I knew that they were lying about something. So when he when I was in there being interviewed, and they were Officer C. Adams and D. Schreider was interrogating me, they was kind of trying to make it seem like I just didn't have a right to have a gun, but yet they didn't. I'm over here talking. He said, well, I understand y'all had a volatile relationship, so he was trying to downsize the fact that Austin been abusing me, and everybody knew, and I was calling the police, and y'all didn't help me, and I done messed around and shot him, and he was attacking my child, and then nobody don't want to mention that. But you want to try to make it seem like we was out there banging. I never did bang with Austin. Every time he attacked me, he attacked me. I never fought him back. I pulled out the knife, the pocket knife one time, but I never fought Austin back. I would run. Just like I did that day when he was attacking me in the street. I ran. And then I ran for help. So we was not banging. He was banging me, throughout the relationship. But the detective was trying to lie and make it seem like we had a volatile relationship. No, we didn't. I was in an abusive relationship with a man that was abusing me, and it was not volatile. He was violent. And that's point blank, period. So when they were dragging me, let me take this off because I'm getting a little hot. But when they were dragging me, they wasn't really dragging me, but because I went with them, but they had put handcuffs. They had put my hands behind my back and put handcuffs on me, and they was taking me out of the department to put me in a police car. And I was like, I'm gonna have y'all badge for this. I'm gonna have your badge for this. And then I looked at the white officer Seattle. I was like, let me out of this car. Let me out of here. I was like, let me out of here. And they was over there laughing and stuff. And then so when Officer D. Schreider was typing up the report, I didn't know what he was typing up because he told me I wasn't being charged with anything because the witness statements matched up with what I was saying. So obviously that meant that y'all know that it was wrong to even be trying to charge me with anything. The fact that I had to shoot a gun in a public place, I was being attacked in a public place. My child was being attacked in a public place. So if my baby is being attacked, I don't care where I got to shoot the gun. I'm going to shoot the gun, because you attacking my child. I have never hurt Austin. I've never defended myself. Only time I defended myself or I tried to do anything defensive was when he was hurting my son, or he was trying to hurt my son, or he was about to hurt my child. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Any other time, I pretty much let Austin beat me up and I would run. But the time where he was trying to attack my baby, yes. You know what I'm saying? That's when mama started getting a little bit more like, okay, bowdy, because you're not finna hurt my child or whatever. And people was making all kind of death threats to my child because I shot a white man behind a mixed race child that he was attacking. And I had inmates saying that they would murder my baby. They were like, I'll kill your baby. I'll kill your baby. That I was pregnant with. Like, I'll kill that baby. And they was in there making the trays and stuff and in the kitchen. So basically C. Adams and him was they was in the booking area, and I was like, do y'all really think I'm guilty? When they was booking me in. Because, I was like, do y'all really think I'm guilty? You really think I'm guilty? I honestly wanted to know, do you really think I'm guilty? Because I didn't plan to shoot him. I ran and grabbed the gun in the middle of him attacking us. I was able to run and then sneak the gun in my purse because my house goes around like this. And I ran, got my baby and ran out the house, and he still continued to attack us. Thank God I didn't shoot him in the house. You know what I'm saying? When people would sit there and lie and falsify all the records and refuse to pull up the 911 calls, refuse to pull up the witnesses, that throughout the time frame that he's been abusing me over the years, that's ridiculous, and then there was black people watching while he was attacking me, and they wasn't even trying to run up to help or anything, and I had a baby in my arms. And everybody knew that I had stayed there by myself, and here is my baby daddy getting out of prison, and he's white, and he's over here attacking me, and y'all all know I live a peaceful life with my child. I don't talk to nobody. I stay to myself. There was a few girls that came around trying to be nosy because I had a made baby that was mixed with white. and they want to come over and just see what I got and be nosy and try to plot. And I've been shut them out of my life, you know. So people wanted to see my life ruined. They wanted to see this man, and I knew. I was like, watch. I done had so many people trying to attack me and do stuff to me while he was in prison. All he gonna do is get out of there and come in here and attack me for them folks. And that's what he did, you know. And that's why none of them wanted to help me. They knew he was in there attacking me, and they saw him attacking me in the streets. You know, they knew he was attacking me in the restaurant. So you can't charge me with dispersing a weapon in a public place. He was attacking my child in a public place, and I'm not finna sit there and let no violent man kill my child in a fit of rage just because we're in a restaurant. You know, I ran there for help. It was the only place that was nearby that, you know, that I thought to go to. Because I had ran and it was right there. So I had walked into the I was tired. I had been running with a baby in my arms. I told y'all I was almost 200 pounds, but I've always been the type to run. Like, anybody try to fight me, and you gotta back me into a corner. Like, you really gotta put my back up against the wall in order to make me fight, because I'm gonna fight first. And then if I don't have nowhere to run, then I'll fight you. But most likely I'm gonna try to kill you because I be scared. You know, that's pretty much what was taking place. Hold on, let me put this on the charger right quick. So that's pretty much what was taking place. Was I was afraid, you know, I was afraid. I don't like to fight. I know I have a very strong demeanor about myself, so most people will be like, oh, you should fight, that. But I didn't want to. And when he was trying to fight me in the house, I had missed my period, and I knew I was pregnant, and he was over there he knocked my baby down or whatever while he was attacking me. And I was like, I'm not finna try to defend myself because I'm pregnant, and I know he gonna kill this baby, you know what I'm saying, if I try to fight him back or whatever. And that's what was happening with Halo too, because I was pregnant with male-born Halo, and I couldn't fight or defend myself when I was pregnant with male-born Halo either, because I didn't want him to kill the baby, and I was just trying to get away from him. So I was like, do you really think I'm guilty? You really think I'm guilty? And then C. Adams, like, shoot, C. Adams was like, oh, you shot him while he was holding your baby. I said, holding my baby? So the way they like to twist words, when has somebody slinging a child upside down and holding them? If another grown man is trying to restrain him from behind and get him to calm down, Austin was doing all this. And how was that holding? Would you want somebody to hold your baby like that? Your 22-month-old child, would you want somebody slinging them around, holding them upside down, acting like a goddamn wild animal? Go look up all the children who are dead in Texas and the state of Houston alone this year. And then try to tell me something about how I can protect my child when his daddy is being violent with him. And then go turn around and twist it and lie. And say he was holding them. He was not. Why would he have to be restrained if he was holding them? If anything, the man would have been hugging them for a camera shot. If he was holding them. He wouldn't be back there trying to restrain them. He was being violent, and the man said he was being stupid. The man told the detective he was being stupid with that baby. And he said, I was not afraid of getting shot. This is what the man said. He said when the gun went off, Austin was still being stupid with the baby. He said, I don't feel if this now. I don't know how much he changed his statement now, because there's been a lot of people trying to plot on me and money talk and bullshit walk, but hopefully he stick to the truth of what actually happened. Hopefully Jim McDougal stick to the truth of what the man told him from the jump. Hopefully they pull up the witness statements of what really happened, because the man said she was defending herself. That's what he said. So here's Officer C. Adams coming in there lying to all these people in the jail. And they white. And you lying to these white women, telling them that I just shot him while he was holding my baby. Trying to make it seem like we was finna go out on a date when I went into the restaurant. We was not going to that restaurant for no date. First of all, I was finna take my son to get something to eat. But I was finna take him to Applebee's or Chili's where we can get the 2 for $20. I was not finna take him to no high Baytown seafood. And I asked Austin, did he want to come? But I was trying to explain to him that I didn't want to be with him no more, but I wasn't trying to be evil to him. I just wanted him to know, I don't want to be with you, man. And I've been trying to get him to leave for weeks. And he was being drunk and violent. And I really just wanted to take the baby so me and him could have some time to reconnect, because he had been around a lot of abuse since Austin been out of the prison, and he had never been around that since he was a little boy. Since he was 5 or 6 weeks old, and that was traumatizing for my child. And I wanted to take him somewhere by myself, but Austin had the keys and had been getting drunk or whatever. So I had to get the keys from him, and I told him I didn't want to be with him no more because I had been staying up all night in the living room watching over the baby, because he had been getting drunk and then stumbling all over in his room and, just being stupid, that I had to watch over my son all night long. And I was sitting up thinking, like, what the hell am I going to do, man? I got to get him up out of here with my son, because I'm afraid that he going to kill my baby, and I needed to get him up out of there, and I couldn't defend myself because he's white. If he get any scratch on him, I'm going to jail, and then I was pregnant when I knew that I missed my period, and then I had started bleeding, so I felt like I had a miscarriage, and I was traumatized by that, so I wasn't sleeping in the bed with Austin. Austin was sleeping in my room, stretched out in my bed, you know what I'm saying? And my son was in his room, and I was watching over my son at nighttime, and I was staying up on the couch trying to figure it out. But I did not think about pulling out a gun on him. I was trying to think about maybe driving him somewhere, asking him to go in the store and get something, and then pulling off and leaving him out there. And then when they come when he come try to get in my house, I was gonna call the police, because I had been calling the police and I didn't want him in the house. And I had to walk on eggshells around the house, not knowing when he was gonna attack me for anything, because he just did not like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he felt like, because all the times that he had been to jail, he felt like it was my fault, and he didn't want to take no accountability for the fact that the first few times he went to jail, it wasn't even me who called. It was civilians who called. So you can't get mad at me because of your actions, because you abusing a woman, somebody called police and you go to jail. Or the evidence had to be shown of what you really was doing, or I was going to go to jail. I had to tell the truth, or I was going to go to jail at some point. And he was the one abusing me, so why should I have to go to jail? And so she was in there just lying. And then I was looking like he was not holding my baby. I was like, you're lying. He was being violent with my son. And they started coming at me like this to attack me. And it was Officer C. Adams and all the rest of the guards. They all had their little gloves on and started coming to attack me. And then I just backed into the hole and said, I was like, I've been abused enough. So y'all really gonna try to jump me? And I was like, y'all really gonna try to jump me? It's cool. It's cool. So I let them say whatever they wanted to say about me. And then it all spread around. And I had asked the detective, I said, can you please call my stepsister and ask her to contact the news to let them know that this young white man was just out of prison attacking me and a child, and I shot him. Tell her to contact the news and tell the news that y'all charging me for this young white man attacking me and my baby in the restaurant. Tell the news that y'all are sitting over here arresting me and charging me. And he started laughing. I'm not doing that. And then he called the news. They contacted the news and put a falsified story on the news saying some crazy lunatic black woman shot a young white man. And I don't know, it's something about a baby, but they didn't say he was attacking the baby. They didn't tell the truth. And I don't know if they told that he got assault charges, that he got rape charge, that he was convicted for assault, that he had just got out of prison, that the police had been called on him that day and several times before that day, and I had a protective order. His mother's had a protective order on him. He was fighting his daddy. He was fighting his mama. He was on meth. He got bipolar. So why the news reporters refused to tell the truth? And they put a falsified story on me on the news. And then it circulated locally. I don't know how far this story got, but it circulated locally, and everybody in the jail saw me on the news. And it's a whole bunch of racist people. And they were saying, oh, she going away for a long time. And then tried to murder me because they knew that I wasn't guilty. But they was trying to kill me anyway because they had been chasing me around the town. So, I was booked in on that. So now when I was in this cell and they was coming to get me out, telling me, and I was on my knees like, don't hit me, to Sergeant Vels and the other girls, when they brought me into the 3rd unit, I was saying, I was like, don't hit me. I'm on my knees. You can't say that I did nothing to you on my knees. You ain't got no right to attack me on my knees. And they was like, we're not going to hurt you. And then Sergeant Vels was like, we know he's abusive. We know he was abusing you. And then they still drugged me. They still booked me in. And then I was asking, I was like, somebody hug me, please, when I first got in there. And I was bleeding. And they stripped me of all my clothes, like quicker than you ever seen anybody strip anybody. They stripped me of all my clothes, and I was bleeding, and I asked one of the officers for a pad